Today we're diving into one of the most powerful figures in Islamic belief about the end times, the Mahdi. He's a prophesied savior who both Sunni and Shia Muslims believe will one day come to fill a world of injustice with, well, justice. And you know, with everything going on in the world right now, this ancient prophecy is being talked about with a whole new kind of urgency.
And really, this whole belief boils down to a very human question, right? We all look around, we see suffering, we see oppression, and we just long for things to be made right. The concept of the Mahdi is, in many ways, Islam's answer to that universal cry for justice to finally, ultimately win.
So who is he exactly? Well, the name Mahdi literally means the guided one. And according to tradition, he's a figure who is destined to appear right before the Day of Judgment. His mission? It's absolutely monumental, to wipe out tyranny and establish a lasting global peace.
Now, this isn't some fringe idea we're talking about. It's a core promise of justice, right at the heart of Islam's vision for the future. It's this deep-seated belief that no matter how chaotic things get, history isn't just a random series of events. It's actually moving toward a divinely planned finale.
And this is where it gets incredibly fascinating. Because while pretty much all Muslims, Sunnis and Shias, await the Mahdi, their understanding of who he is and where he comes from couldn't be more different. And this split is absolutely central to understanding the modern Islamic world. So you can really frame these two views as the awaited leader versus the hidden imam. And these aren't just minor theological squabbles. No, they hit at the very core of authority, history, and belief itself.
Okay, so let's break this down. For Sunnis, the Mahdi is a future figure. He hasn't been born yet, nobody knows who he is. But for Twelver Shias, he's already here. They believe he was born way back in 869 CE and is currently alive, but in a state of divine hiding called the occultation. Sunnis see him as an incredibly righteous human, but still just a human, not infallible. Shias, they believe he is the 12th divinely appointed and completely infallible Imam. Two totally different concepts.
In this quote right here, it just perfectly nails the Sunni perspective. It comes from a hadith, a saying of the Prophet Muhammad, and it suggests the Mahdi's rise is going to be sudden, almost miraculous. The idea is that a good, pious man will basically be transformed into a world leader overnight by God's will, not through some long, drawn-out political campaign. For Shias, though, this belief has direct, real-world political consequences, especially today. I mean, the entire political structure of the Islamic Republic of Iran is theologically designed to be a temporary government. It's a placeholder, ruling on behalf of the hidden imam, until he finally returns to take his rightful place as the leader of the world. Okay, so we've talked about these huge differences, but, and this is a big but, there's actually a lot of common ground. It's so important to remember that both traditions are pulling from a shared well of Islamic prophecy. So, both Sunnis and Shias agree on some huge things. They agree he'll be a descendant of the Prophet Muhammad. They agree his whole mission is to end oppression. And crucially, they both believe his arrival will happen around the same time as the appearance of the Dajjal, a kind of antichrist figure, and that he will be an ally of the returning prophet Isa, that's Jesus. So, with all that theology in our back pocket, let's yank it into the present day. Why is this ancient belief suddenly feeling so relevant? Well, because, for a lot of people, prophecy isn't just about the distant past or future. It's a powerful lens for understanding what is happening in the news right now. I mean, just think about a near-future context, something like 2026. The thinking goes that major global conflicts, especially wars involving a key player like Iran, could dramatically amp up these end-times beliefs, pushing them from the background right into the center of political strategy. And look, this isn't just some abstract theory. There are prominent figures out there who are explicitly interpreting today's wars and political chaos as the birth pangs, the necessary turmoil right before the Mahdi's long-awaited return. So what are they seeing that makes them think this? Well, a lot of the prophecies describe the time before the Mahdi's arrival as being filled with immense chaos, widespread injustice, and major wars in the Middle East. For some believers, looking at the news today, it all feels eerily familiar. It makes them think the prophecies are unfolding before their very eyes. But, beyond all the headlines and the geopolitical chess moves, it's so important to understand what this belief means on a human, spiritual level. Because at its core, it's not a war cry. It's actually a message of profound hope. And this is super important. Mainstream scholars from both sides are very, very clear on this. They constantly warn people against getting it wrong. First, never ever claim to be the Mahdi. Second, don't go around trying to pinpoint who he might be. And most importantly, do not use this belief to justify violence or to grab political power.
So, when you strip away all the politics and headlines, what are you left with? For millions of Muslims, this belief is the ultimate promise, that history has a moral compass. It's the deep conviction that our suffering has a limit and that, in the end, divine justice will win. It's a powerful source of hope. And that really leaves us with the big question, doesn't it? Depending on who's interpreting it and why, this one belief can be seen in two completely different ways. Is it a dangerous ideology that can be twisted to fuel conflict? Or is it a profound spiritual expression of hope for a world that desperately needs it?